Hello, everybody. My name is Bonganem Totoba, and I come from South Africa in the University of Free State. I am a first year, going to my second year commercial law student at the university. We've arrived here at Edmonds, Edmonds College in Washington State. So we are involved in a project that helps first years to come out of their country and to go to visit other countries such as Amsterdam, America, and Thailand to come and see how other students work with their leadership skills. So with us in our cohort, we came to the College of Edmonds. As we came here, we saw a lot of different people that exist within the campus. We saw people from different countries, people from different cultures and backgrounds coming together to come and to complete one goal, which is to get an education. What stood out for me most was that people here, no matter their differences, they still get along. The language is still the same. They help each other throughout everything, and their cultures do not really interfere in what they strive to get at, which is their education. So another thing that also stood out for me with America has to be the warm welcome that they gave us, because we are not really familiar with a lot of things that we found here, but because of their care for everybody that comes from different countries, they still accepted us and they allowed us to have as much fun as possible. So that is what stood out for me most.
Hi, my name is Promise Kumalo. I am from the University of Free State in South Africa. I'm from the Qwaqwa campus. I'm part of the leadership exchange school program. I was given an opportunity to come to United States of America to visit Edmonds Community College. My first experience of this place, when I got here, I realized it was too cold and they don't have sun at all. We arrived on Thursday in the morning, and then we went to our host families. It was hard at first because I've never been away from my family and having to live with strangers, but it was good because I got to learn about their culture, their different food. White people eat a lot of greens, unlike us African people. We love our meat. I could say that kind of stood up for me, how healthy people around here are and how they look after themselves. We then we came to Edmonds, where I've met a lot of students of different races, different cultures, and it was good for me seeing that how united they are and how welcoming they are. They have a particular way of doing things that are very different for us in South Africa, but those things were like, okay, we could implement them to improve our country as well. We visited a lot of places. I love Seattle. It has a lot of history. What interested me was the Parktown Center. Parktown Market, is it? Yeah. Where we saw those guys throwing fishes at each other, and then we went to see Chief Seattle. It was amazing reading about their history, and I always had this idea that Red Indians came from nowhere, but I was so surprised to find that actually are called Native Americans, actually from here. I enjoy being around here. I enjoy learning about different cultures and different religion and meeting different students. It was an amazing experience. I loved every part of it because I got to get out. I learned a lot about myself as an individual. Growing up, I always wanted to be more white, but being with those people, they actually like me as an African person. They actually made me to embrace myself as an African person. So I learned a lot with this program. It made me look myself in a different way before actually getting to see the world. Yeah, thank you.
I'm Anna Minivert. I'm from the University of the Free State, and I've been here for 2 weeks now in Seattle at Edmonds College University. No, at the Edmonds Community College. And what really stood out for me was just the fact how everyone is so friendly despite the fact that you're from across the world and you're not like an American citizen. And that's something I experience in diversity as well here at Edmonds Community College, is that everyone is looking after one another and you always feel like you belong here, despite your color, despite your race, despite the language barrier you have. So yes, that's something I really enjoyed here, and I think I can go back to my university and just improve on that as well. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Basitsana Ditebe and I am a South African, proudly South African. I school at the University of Free State in South Africa, and I am studying Bachelor of Accounting, aspiring to be and inspired to become a chartered accountant. While I came here to the state of Washington, on a leadership program, we discussed topics such as leadership, diversity, and citizenship. So the objective of this program is for us to come here to the USA, learn about how the USA people, the Americans, deal with these topics, and we go back to South Africa and plow back in our communities. Well, what I've learned in the Washington State, to be in particular the Edmonds College, is the amount of the large ratio of diversity. There's a lot of diversity. I wasn't expecting so many diversified community such as this. I realized that it's not just the college. There is a buy-in or the support of the community, where I know the students are on homestay programs, and which is very amazing for me because we are not really used to such. One thing I really learned about diversity, let me just talk about diversity. One thing I learned about diversity is that it's not just about race, color, it's not just about race or your background or the language you speak. It's a whole gamut of everything. It's a range of everything. And here, being here, I was welcomed, and I remembered I kind of felt home, because that is the sense of I had a sense of belonging, which is what the Africans, us Africans, which is what we do. So I had a sense of belonging, even though we differ, our cultures and our languages are different, but I kind of felt as if I'm home. One thing that stuck out is that every time I meet a person and they had an African experience, they try to relate and welcome me. It would be the opening sentence that, hey, I've had an experience in Africa, this is what happened. And then we would just go on and on and on. They didn't care about my race, they didn't care about my color. Even if my English was broken, they wouldn't care two hoots about anything. So that's what I really learned, and that this community, it embraces everybody. They don't care whether you can speak English or not. They try to reach out. They are always ready to lend a helping hand. And we were at the MLK, we were doing the MLK community service, and we had Native Americans within our midst. And then I told one of my mentors, well, she's our tour guide, Marissa, that what the Native Americans do is exactly what we Africans do. It just struck me how we share a common principle, but yet we are different. And for me, it encourages me to stop focusing on our differences and from a negative perspective, but to embrace and celebrate our differences, because our differences is what makes us to be unique. In terms of leadership, what I have experienced here is that most students on the campus are hands-on. They are on leadership programs. They work, which is something that is quite big for universities or college students to work. They are always ready to take on a pile of work to better themselves. In terms of citizenship, I have I've heard from other people this whole green card that you win. It's sort of like a lottery. And I learned more about how the US is trying to reach out to the world, basically. It's not just, social media always makes, it always tries to put a bad light on a certain country. It's on certain countries. So I did have my own prejudices, biases, and my judgments. And then when I came here, I was like, but we cannot just focus on the negative light of things. So when I heard about this green card, I was actually humbled that, wow, the U.S. government is actually doing something to help those countries, because as a matter of fact, to be honest, there are countries in Africa that are still warring, and the U.S. government is reaching out to give these people a home, to give these people a chance to live and better their lives. So this has been an extraordinary experience. It is priceless. It is invaluable. I feel as if there's an inadequacy of language to express how I am feeling this experience. It can only take a person to live through this experience, and then I feel they could understand. So this is Basitsana Ditebe signing out.
I could actually just get one word to mind, and that was indescribable in many ways. But there are two things that I really learned personally, and that I picked up throughout. First of all, it's that some of the experiences, moments that define the trip, and that will change me as a person, or the way I view certain things. And the other part is to be realistic and not delusional in the way you see things. So a trip-defining moment for me was when we were in Monroe Correctional Facility, and this man was asked, how do you keep hope in a place where there is none? And he said, he took out a paper and he said, this is my hope. And it was sort of a letter of this person who was also in prison with him, whom he had helped and nurtured to be more hopeful, to be more positive. And he said that his hope inside the prison was someone else's hope, was to give other people hope. And I didn't know him. I don't know how he really operates and how he is as a person. But the idea of this selfless idea that my hope is based on someone else's happiness, and the fact that they should stay positive, was an amazing thing. And it's something I'll really take back with me. Then secondly, I feel as though many of the things that South Africans hear in America, we're very delusional about our own country. So we tend to compare every single thing in no context whatsoever. People would just say, oh, look at that, why don't we apply that at home? Or look at that, it's so crap back at home. Not thinking that there's two different historical contexts that we live in. So I feel as though many of the times, myself included, we were delusional in the way we were comparing things. And also, thinking back home, I was just also very proud of the fact that our country deals with things in its own way, and it eventually sorts itself out by putting systems into place. So I am actually leaving America with more hope for my country than what I came for. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Yusea Meyer, and I'm from South Africa. I study actuarial science at the University of the Free State. And so far this has been an amazing experience. I feel that my perception of a lot of topics has broadened, and I think even if I can single out some experiences, we went to Fair Start, which just to experience the initiative and the vision that the people working there have was already for me amazing. And we went and talked to some offenders at the Monroe Correctional Facility, who also really had some touching stories. And even when we talked to the head of the material science department, his vision to just share the opportunities he got with everyone he comes across was pretty inspiring. And for me, overall, I think I've experienced that people here, they have a true interest in each other, no matter how diverse they are. And I've experienced that myself. People, when they hear I'm from South Africa, I speak Afrikaans, they truly want to know more, and we can share and enjoy the differences and teach each other something that we learned in our past. And that is something that inspired me as well. Some of the Edmonds students that I met, just the way they accept and respect the people around them, and even how diligently they seek to do whatever comes across their way. And overall, I think this has broadened my view and helped me to check my own biases and look back on how I look at certain topics. And overall, it's been an amazing experience. I still need to reflect some more on everything, take it all in, but I won't mind coming here again. And even just the talks I had with my host family, especially the dad, he gave me some sound advice on life in general and relationships. The people living with me, the foreigners, I made 2 good friends, one from Japan, one from China. It's amazing to share our experiences and to grow our relationship. Overall, I would love to share my experience with more people, and I thank everyone involved for this opportunity.